Chat on a bus. Eileen was seated on a bus. It stopped at a terminus. She heard the woman behind her say, "Where will she sit today?" She said this in a very posh voice. Her friend replied, "Well, there is a choice. There are lots of places that she can seated be. She could sit on the coffee table or on the arm of the chair near me." The other lady replied to her, "I don't know if she'll like that. She may demur." The reply came back, "You can but do your best." "But I don't know that she can protest." The first lady said, "But she might feel neglected and be so stressed. For her I really want to do my best. It's not nice to be without a seat. She won't feel her welcome is complete." Actually, my dear, there is always the flaw. I can't offer her that. She'd be out of the door. The second lady did then say, "My dear, I'm not so sure of that. You haven't by any chance forgotten that she is a cat." My human. Now every dog should have a human to love. They think they own us, but heavens above, we know we are the ones in charge. We love them all, whether they're slim or large. And we are the most loyal beings on earth. We bring with us such joy and mirth. Now I have shed in my life two kinds of tear. My owner found me in Laos, much the worse for wear. He rescued me, called me sugar. From him no one could me tear. He had dogs to love, coffee and cream. He taught me to have no fear. We live in Thailand and have a life of plenty. I hope to live long till I am 20. I am surrounded with happiness sublime. My life here with cream is divine. Coffee has passed, but had a lovely, rich life like old wine. Every day here is fun. We go for walks and I sniff about. I bound around, I wish I could shout. Instead I just bark. Talking truly would be a lark. What of the other type of cheer I shed? Well, this morning when I would rather have been in bed, my human played a song so old I looked at him and he grew bold. He shouted, "Music hall, yes, let me dance," and then around Cream and me did prance. He waved his arms in the air, we did at him stare. He looked a totally silly fool, galumphing around the place, he was not cool. He staggered ungainly around the room, Nureyev would have looked at him with gloom. I stared at him and moved away, he was not going to trample on me today. I started laughing deep inside, my tummy hurt, my smile was wide. So then I cried the other sort of tear, but it was great and not tempered with that dreaded old fear. Any time my human wants to look daft and fall over a chair, he's welcome to, but I think he's been drinking beer. Go. Frank's adventure. Now Lineker, the footballer, got a golden boot for being the highest goal scorer because he could shoot like no other that year. His success caused England to drink much beer. My friend Anne bought a cat just then with no flaw, a sweet kitten with a golden paw. So she called her Lineker, and she was lovely and grew old with grace, but by then had a young friend called Frank to dance around the place. He was named after Frank Bruno, so lively and full of fast grace. Now Frank is a ginger and a lively cat. He pranced around his auntie Lineker so much that she lost her patience now and again, as too much activity made Frank her life's bane. So she would wait till he pranced by and clout him with her paw in his eye. That quieted him down for a while, but then he'd play again with great style. Now one day Anne returned to her home and found no Frank waiting. Sometimes he did roam. All that night she sat with fright. and when no Frank had returned by morning, she had a dread adawning. This went on for quite 3 weeks. She worried and fret, and she did freak out and stress and lose weight, she was so sad. She thought to him something had happened, something dreadful and bad. Lineker also seemed quite sad, and thought that she herself would go mad. She mithered and stressed and snapped at folk. They all had sympathy. This was no joke. Then one day in walked Frank, and alive and sort of well, terribly thin, but having him in one piece was so swell, and cheered and smiled and cried, and decided a shed. He must have been shut in, starving inside. No more again did our Frank roam, and now, at 18 years old, he is quite content to stay at home.